doing 2 videos in one night because I just could not get to it. And I've been wanting to do this one for a while, actually, for my marriage vlog. I had posted a video about am I good enough, and I was really surprised because I actually got some Facebook messages about it. They were awesome, and that kind of started some big talks and just examining, reading people, I guess. I don't know how to put it, but I would never be the type of person that would say I'm better than you. I would never do anything like that. I don't see myself like that in any fashion, ever. I mean, I know that people tend to do that. I'm better than you because I have a nicer car, a bigger house, or make more money, or I have more college degrees, or I've done X, Y, Z, whatever. I've never been like that. I swear to you, I can sit down with a 5-year-old and not have a superiority complex because I just don't view humans like that. I think we all have something to share with the world, and there's just no one person better than another. And I was laying on the bed and I said, Jamie, I just got to tell you something. Like, I've really gotten to a place after everything that's happened that I can say, I understand why this other person told me I'm not good enough for you. That was one of our last exchanges. I'm not good enough. I never was. You just can't face it. And what happened is it almost seems like this person was starting arguments in order to pull away. And something that was going on at the time is he was doing things I didn't like. Like, I try to tell the story without calling this person out, but what happened is we started our relationship as friends, and he got a lot of positive affirmation from me from all the things he was doing. He did not get that from his partner. She put him down a lot, apparently. I did not witness this, but he had a lot of stories about how she would put him down. And I'm the kind of person that if you do 3 things on your list that day and it's what you wanted to do, I'm proud of you. It's natural to me. I don't know if it's because I'm a mom, but I do have a natural joy for people that do things they want to do, or they're proud for themselves, or I see the very minute things to be joyful about. I mean, maybe that's because, like, hey, potty training. I mean, I have had moments in my life that they're minuscule on the grand scheme of things, but they create pure joy in me. And that's something Jamie said he's always been jealous of, is that I am a very joyful person and I can just be tickled over the slightest little thing. It makes life good. I mean, just the smallest little things will make me just sublimely happy. And I do think that maybe that's one of my better qualities. So what ended up happening is this person left their partner and they moved with their mother, actually. Their mom came and rescued them. And once they got there, his mom needed a lot of help, and so that was like the first time I was completely ignored. So he was getting a lot of positive affirmation from his mother for all the things he was doing there, and then when that kind of, the shine wore off at that, back to me. And then there was a 3-day period where I didn't hear from him at all, hardly. And it turns out he was helping his friend in New Zealand help her clean her room or something. And this was a person that he had known for a very long time. And from what I understand now, kind of drug her along, like maybe we'll meet someday. And because we both have depression and all this. And he had to rescue her. He constantly had to rescue her from her feelings. Like at one point she had threatened suicide if they weren't going to meet. I don't know. The details were always sketchy, and that bothered me because I'm a detail-oriented person and I will tell the whole story and give you all the details, and he was always lax on that. But I think once the shine wore off of helping her, then he was back to me. Then he got a job in the city, and he lived with a friend. And so the first thing I heard about this friend is how absolutely wonderful this guy was. He was helping him get a job, and then he was up this guy's ass, telling me all the great, wonderful things about him and kissing his ass while he first moved in there. Again, I wouldn't hear from him as much because, well, I got to help these people. I got to help him do these things because he was getting all this like positive feedback from people. He would blow me off every time there was something new to give him positive feedback. So he ended up getting kicked out of that house. And he said it's because the wife didn't like him. I didn't know the details. He never gave them to me. He ends up in his car, not being able to find a place to sleep, and ends up staying with one of our mutual friends overnight. And turns out he ends up moving into a shed that his uncle has. And as soon as he moved into his uncle's shed, I was again ignored. He was helping his uncle do all these things around, told me how great his uncle was. His uncle was going to help him. He's going to get him off his feet. And then he sent me a photo of a car and said, "Hey, babe, this was all me. Look what I did. Look what I did." Well, it turned out the uncle bought the damn car, and then he pretends like that he told me that, but he never did. He made it out like he had saved up, that he had done this thing. But then as his uncle started riding his ass about the things he wasn't getting accomplished, he started talking really bad about his uncle, and kind of got me on that bandwagon because I saw some of the texts and emails his uncle had sent, and they were harsh and abrasive and judgmental and rude. But I don't know exactly what he was judging and all that, because it was always so kind of quiet. I was never given the full story. And like I said in one of my previous, his ex-wife or ex-partner had been kind of ugly, and he told me don't listen to anything she says. And to me, that was a very real possibility, because my best friend's ex-husband was the spawn of Satan, and he actually did try to make her life a living hell. I was witness to it. So this wasn't something that I thought, yeah, right, sure you're right. I mean, I've seen people do that. I've seen really bad breakups, and this one was with my best friend, was up close and personal. I mean, I saw the shit that man did to her, and it actually really happened. So yes, it was within the realm of possibility. It didn't ever occur to me that maybe she was just fed up with his shit too. So he has this job, and then he went back home over Christmas, and I'm sorry, he was with his uncle, had a job there, and that's the job he had when I went and visited, and he was just constantly trying to impress this boss. And I don't know, every story was kind of like, I'm trying hard, and everybody's riding my ass and doesn't see me, and I was always behind him, always telling him, keep your chin up, you can do it, you can do anything you want to do, you're smart, you're a hard worker, you've got this, you're doing a really good job, getting out on your own. And he'd always kind of come back to me to get that, and make sure I was always there and available to support him, encourage him, all that good stuff. So once he came back from Christmas break, he decided to stay back with his mom. And he got a job in a motorcycle shop, which he wasn't readily familiar with, but he was going to learn it. And again, cheering him on. And the owner of that shop kind of took him under his wing like a son. And once again, once he had anything else to pat him on the back, I was on the back burner. Like, he would barely text me, or just text me shit to show off to me, but never ask how I was, or really listen, or keep up the same effort to invest in it, like a two-way relationship. It was mostly just look at me, look at me, look at me. And a lot of he said it was very dramatic, that I didn't know what I wanted, or like, and look at the time, I'm like, oh God, what am I doing wrong? What did I do wrong? But the thing about it is, it was always provoked. Like, texting me drunk, and me telling him to sleep it off, and he'd be like, I told you I was drunk right up the bat. Why are you being so mean to me? I'm like, I'm not being mean to you. I told you to sleep it off. Like, you're being ugly, you're being mean. And then he'd come back and he's sorry. And to me, there was a little bit of margin, because when you are leaving, the life you've always known, leaving your children, people do that stuff. I've seen people I love, they'll drink or go crazy just for a little bit and be fine, but I just don't want to be involved in it. At first I flipped out on him, like, that's a shitty thing to do, but then once it had happened a couple times, I just asked him to sleep it off. So he said that we were on a roller coaster, and hinted to the fact that I was participating in that roller coaster, and that didn't happen. Something I noticed, I met this person through one group, but then they invited me to another that was all focused on health and wellness and taking good care of your body. But when I was there visiting, I saw that a lot of what he preached was actually not what he lived. I mean, I was not impressed at all with how much of what he said was important to him actually was. It just seemed, I don't know, and I should have seen that then. But I called him on, and I said, all you do now on your Facebook page is talk about motorcycles, when that wasn't even an interest before. And before that, it was health. You always suck into what everybody's telling you to suck into instead of being a genuine person. That's when I could really start to feel the shake in it, because I could see you're not a genuine person. You told me you wanted to go to school for this one thing. You're not even pursuing it. You told me you wanted to sell your property. You're not even pursuing it. You're doing nothing that you had promised me you would do. So as time went on, it became more and more obvious that it was all talk. I mean, the man didn't do anything that required anything of him. All the jobs he got because somebody gave them to him. The house he lived in, because his mom lived there. He didn't go the extra mile for absolutely anything at all. And in my life, I don't get that. You bust your ass. You don't just get, you know what I mean? It's like a small child that has to have things handed to them and then get pat on the back for doing the basic things of life. And I started to get tired of it. I wasn't as, wow, you're just so great. I started to be like, that's great, but what about this other thing? So, towards the end of my pregnancy, it got really, really hairy, and you could just see the pulling back. I needed somebody to talk to. When he needed somebody to talk to, I was there, but when I needed it, it's like, fuck you. That's just too much for me. Oh, babe, I'm so worried about you, but really, I don't really give a shit. So, we had some pretty serious talks. Like, you really need to think about what you're talking about doing. Moving is a big deal. Leaving your children, you need to think, can you get visitation with them? Can they come over here? What's your plan? Do you want to go back over there twice a year? Because he wasn't seeing them anyway. He's 14 hours away from them now. And so it was weird, and there was other things I'm not going to go into that were weird. But he went away for a weekend and said, I need to think about this relationship. Well, it turns out during that weekend, he was off visiting this new girl. Like, it was this. And then he tells me, well, you told me to think. No, he had been planning that the whole time. He had been skeeving around like he did before me, which I found out. And this whole time that he was like dragging me along, trying to pick fights with me and, make me look like I'm crazy because I was pissed off at the way he was acting. He was hitting up on this girl. And to my knowledge, they're still seeing each other. And it's like, oh, Jesus, you gotta be kidding me, I mean, I have really strong opinions about that because there's going to be a certain type of girl that's going to be with this person in real life. And it's like, I'm embarrassed. Honestly, at this point, I'm embarrassed that I gave that person the time of day. And that's where I get into the who's better. I don't think I'm better than anybody else, but there's a certain class of people that I will not spend my time on, and unfortunately I got sucked into that. And it has nothing to do with money, and it has nothing to do with career or any other thing. The defining line for me is what makes a better person is I get what I want in this life by working my ass off, by staying dedicated to whatever it is. I make my circle of people by giving of myself, by being something for them so that they attach to me so that I add value to their life. This other person, he trolls around and finds what he can get from people, not what he can give. And he'll talk a really, really great game about, oh, I want to treat somebody like a princess. Well, bullshit. You know why you do it? You don't do it because you care about them. You do it because you get your ego from it, because you don't have anything to draw from, because you're an empty person. And that's where I'm at. I mean, I'm sitting here now like, for the first month, just devastated. Like, what am I going to do? I'm so sad. I lost my best friend. I lost this person I cared for so much. And now I'm like, oh, God, Melissa, what were you thinking? Why would you even give somebody like that the time of day, even for friendship? I mean, that person had nothing to give you. All they did was take from you. You lowered your standards so much in so many ways. And I don't know if it was because my marriage was going bad and it was in such a bad place and it was just like that, that dragon with the missing scale and he knew right where to hit. But I don't associate with people like that. That'll use people and lie. I mean, the man lies like nothing you ever... I'm impressed by the amount of lying that he did. And right now, it is so weird. It's so weird for me to think he's got this girl that he's spilling all this bullshit into and she totally believes it because I did. I completely believed it, and she has no idea what he's doing on the side. And she'll be convinced, as was I, he would never, because he's so genuine. And you think, like, you're, like, it? Oh, boy. So not true. That man has more lies up his sleeve than anybody I've ever met. And, whew, she knew the whole story. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not messaging her. Actually, the way I found out about this girl is we were messaging about a movie. I noticed that she was on similar pages and she had commented on some of the same things on this man's page that we were both mutual friends with that I did. So I'm like, oh, she's sweet. I want to talk to her because she's in Australia. I want to see what she knows about the, the climate there and the issue that we're both involved with. So we're talking, and I told her I loved Australia. I came and I had seen this guy, and we laughed, and she said, yeah, that sounds like him, because I was joking around about one of the memories we had, and she's like, yeah, we're kind of seeing each other, and I'm like, excuse me? And he has her fully convinced that it was over, and I just couldn't let go. And I was just so devastated, and probably that he couldn't actually tell me because he would break my heart, and I was emotionally unstable. He loved that little bit, like I crazy or something. And oh, that makes me so mad. It really pisses me off. Like I'm so unaware, like I didn't know what was really happening. And oh, he was just the, nice guy that had to break it to me gently. And it's kind of like, and excuse me, it's like, fuck you, dude. You were the one that was a train wreck. Your whole life is a train wreck. Mine's not. I met you and I was in a bad place, but my life's not a train wreck, dude. Here's the situation. You barely talk to your children, and they probably can't stand you, from what I understand. They miss you. All mine, my 18-year-old down to my 4-month-old absolutely adore me. I see them daily. I take care of them. I actually give a shit what happens to them on a daily basis. I'm not off trolling the internet looking for, accolades from strangers that don't know my story. And I can hold a job for a very long time. I can actually get up and do shit without somebody telling me to. I don't get intoxicated. I'm not dependent on drugs. I don't take caffeine drinks in order to counteract the alcohol and drugs that I took. And I don't use people. I don't use people. I don't take money from them. I don't take gifts from them in order to, pump myself up. I don't post all my shit on Facebook about all the shit that I want the world to see and hide the stuff I don't. They know it all because I don't have to hide it. And my face is the one here that's telling the story. And my blog tells the story. And my friends and my family knew about you. You hid me. Why'd you do that? Because you were weighing your options. Because me, I was too hard. I was too hard to get to, even though we were magic. We weren't. The truth was I was. And I think if you ever see this, or if you ever acknowledge it, maybe one day you'll be able to say sorry, because what you did was absolutely, incredibly, 100% wrong. And in your quiet, dark moments, you know that. So anyway, that's where I'm at. Are some people better than others? Absolutely. They absolutely are. Because when somebody comes into your life, they should benefit it. They shouldn't take from it. They shouldn't spew lies to get what they need from you and keep you dragging along. And then when it ends, for whatever reason it ends, lie about what you've done and what you've said and when it was. It's just such crap. The people that you do that to are people. They are actual human beings. And to get close with my children and then act like they don't matter, you're pretty much dead to me at that point. You don't fuck around with my children. Ever. That's just such shit. And it takes everything in me not to message the new girl and be like, you have a child and you're going to let your emotional need for male companionship to possibly screw your child up. I have absolutely no respect for that. You know what's coming. You've been warned. You've been made aware of what kind of person this is, and no matter how good he makes you feel right now, there's a person out there, that person is me, that actually has a steady, stable life. The man that I have been married to for 19 years, it's been rocky as hell, still wakes up, tells me he loves me, wants me, that I'm a really good person, that he thinks I'm beautiful, still wants me. After all these years, I don't have the kind of relationship like Mr. Wonderful where the wife wants him dead. You have to ask yourself, what the hell is wrong with that person that all these people that have believed and supported in him have washed their hands of him? And to me, that's fine if you're single. It's fine if you don't have children. Had I known what I was getting into, he would have had not even an inch in this family. Not. Because my children are way more important to me than how good and warm and fuzzy I feel about somebody paying attention to me. So That part really bothers me. It's like, lady, you better get out of Dodge before he fucks you up too. And that child, I think, if you know, if you even have, if you even have the slightest doubt that somebody is good or will remain good, and you involve your child, you're not fit. I'm sorry. That's how I feel about it. Honest to God, I know that's harsh, but you do not do that. Unfortunately, it can go on for months where you feel like you are, number one, you feel like this person is absolutely what they say they are. And you would fight to the death because I did it. I know this person. I feel like I can read them. I feel like they're an excellent, excellent person. Excellent people do not act the way that person did. And excellent people, when they have breakups with people, whether it's friendship, family, you walk away where both people are kind of, he walked away with no conscience at all. And if you can't ask yourself why, yeah, you really think about that. And you ask yourself, how's your relationship with your family? Not good? Oh, why? You don't talk to hardly anybody that you talked to 6 months ago. Why is that? Because you look at my friend page and all these people I've known forever. I don't lose friends. And when I have, even my best friend that I had a big major breakup with, you know what we did? In the past few months, we've talked about it. This is what we did wrong. We're sorry. We love each other. I don't have any major relationships outside of abusive family members that I haven't been able to restore and look you in the eye and say, I'm sorry for my part. And I always examine my part. Always. And in this one, I had none. All I did was believe in a person and let them totally, completely shit all over me, cheat on me, lie to me, take money from me, involve me with their family, and then kick my ass out because they got caught being a lying, cheating bastard. And so, yes, I was good enough, and the truth was I was too good. And that's just the God's honest truth. And I'm there now, and good riddance. And I can promise you out there, little dude, little dude, I don't even know. I'm not suffering the loss at all anymore. I can promise you that. There are much better people out there that are more than happy to take your place. So, good luck and best wishes